Morning, everybody. November 24th, 9:24 in the morning. Still running scans here. There's not a lot going on here, I have to admit. These Momo plays I'm not too interested in, but we'll see how it goes. I do like this retracement on AOI. It's set to 50%. It's bounced up off it just a little bit. So its next test is going to be 44.25, up over 44.25, and she's probably going into the gap past 46.75. So I'm going to probably try and get some entries here. Just in case you didn't see it, no midday today, no pre-market report, and right after open, if I'm not trading anything, I'm going to be gone for the day. I might be around for the morning, we'll see. And I've got a big weekend. We've got final publishing of all the models and swing trades and stuff this weekend as an absolute deadline, so I'm going to get some sun, but I wouldn't mind getting a nice nice win here this morning. So we'll watch these momos. I've got Riot and XNet and CLSN, DPW, MARA on monitors here. But the trades that I'm most considering are HMNY, VRX, AOI, Very. HMNY over, say, 450. Very over 1670, or a full retracement back here, 1636. AOI, somewhere in the zone that it's in. So I'm going to watch these open, see how they do. Very, I don't have anything specific on Very. I think it's just a matter of watching price action. MARA, I don't have any specific resistance points for you. I think with it, it's more price action at open, and your percentages, watch your 50, 75, 100%, and your quarters, so 350, 375, $4. We got open here in a minute and 25 seconds. Oil's right up near resistance. Gold looks a little soft. So I'll probably let things set up a bit here, considering the day that it is. So there's the VRX pop. TWLO is alarming. MICT struggling with the 100-day on the weekly and 50%. Right, it's at 52-week highs. XNet at 52-week highs. So none of these I'm interested in taking. Congrats to Longs and Riot. Man, that's way up. Mara's way up. I'm just going to watch for now. Give it a few minutes here. Okay, there's potential short in oil coming up here. If this plays out, I'll hit it in size. Just watching VWAP right now on oil. I'd rather short oil on the completion of the 30-minute candle. There's 15 minutes left. But struggling with VWAP here. Didn't want to take it on at first drop. Bounced. Now it's testing VWAP. VWAP is the orange line. So it failed the VWAP and it's failing the 20 now. Just gonna wait for the 50%. That's at 58, 56. US oil. MACD hasn't responded on the one yet. It's definitely under pressure here. Wow. Look at that. Some volume coming in here. Wow. Dang, I was gonna hit that hard too. Just set an alarm on VWAP on the one here. I'm sorry, MACD. Unreal. Be careful. In front of a train. Stuff like this, you need the machines on your side, so you have to understand your. This is how I trade Bitcoin too. Gazillion trades last night, but on any moves like this, you just get your retracement set up, just on the tight frame, just to make sure you get the machines on your side. If you don't lose that 50% retracement to the downside, the machines will never get on your side, and you're working against the current, swimming against the current. But if you get the machines on your side, at least you got that for short-term trades. And you do that through the technicals. Probabilities increase. Still struggling with VWAP there. I'm surprised the way they bought it before the 50% retracement. I thought it would blow through VWAP pretty fast. It's got a bit to work through there. VWAP, the 50, the 100, and the 200. Until it does that, it's not in safety zone on the day, on the intraday. So now you just look at, and it's tight trading, but you look at your 50%. Look at that. Look at that. 58.60 it needs. 58.61, I guess. I don't think I did that right. There, it's more like that. Looking for it to lose 58.56. Didn't get VWAP. MACD is about to turn down to the 1. Squeeze momentum. Hard to say here. It's working through its tight retracements right now. So it's going to coil right in around 58.60 and then a decision's got to be made. But it should coil to 58.60 and then drop to 58.56 and then 58.53. $58.56. And 58.53 is next. And 58.49. Oh, there it goes, see? So I'm long DWT in size. So we'll see if this plays out here. Machines dropped that there. That was pretty vicious. Machines need the humans to get on side when they make the moves. If they don't, they just go to the next point in the retracement. There's that target today anyway. Here it comes. It's breaking through the supports pretty quick here. Caught a fib there. Caught a bit of a break. Just trying to get my retracements in play here. Then I'll bring us into the oil room so we can see the chart. So I get all my levels set here quick. Almost done. Should have had these done in advance. Okay, so this will bring us to our target on the day. I don't think we'll hit the target, but if oil was in a downtrend, we'd hit it for sure. Anyway, there's the target, 58.19. Caught a break here at 58.48 or so. On the 1 minute, stock our size on its way up, squeeze momentum's on its way down, Maggie's on its way down. It's so bullish that it'll probably get lift here. It really shouldn't without that MACD. But so that was a nice trigger in there. Boy, I was a few seconds early. Here's what the triggers look like. Let's see how it does. So where did it bounce in here? So this is its test here. So it's up over its first test. It's still kind of struggling with it. That's its first test. There's a lot of bulls in here. It's tough getting in front of this train, boy. Bring us into their bull room here. Actually, I don't have to do it on there. I can, oh yeah, I do, don't I? Yeah, I'm broadcasting from this one. Now the problem Fridays like in the 68, 72 range. But I just want to show you what's going on here. So I got up to the top of the quad. I worked through this quad down here, perfect, bounced over top of this major resistance into the quad wall there, into the quad wall there, held this intraday quad wall like just here. And this is the target for today, for Friday. But like I say, they don't hit near as often as Tuesday and Wednesday targets. So there's a lot of risk here, and it's very bullish. So, but on conventional charting here, it's decent risk reward. VWAP's here, the orange line. So it's got its 20. Well, it's working the 20 anyway. It's got its support here now, first support. So we'll try and run it in here. But it needs a lot to get away from me. Like it's got not only the conventional charting that you're looking at, it's got, here, I'll load this a little bit. It's got this quad wall here, and that's serious. Now they've been leaving it just on Fridays just above into the next quad up in here in preparation for the next week. They've been walking through these quad walls, which is divergent. That's been happening the last 4 or 5 weeks. Last week it didn't happen, but 3 or 4 weeks prior it did. So the bull run might be slowing down. And maybe not the best thing to do to get in front of the train right now, but I do have the advantage of some technicals, and I mean, if I take a few cent loss or whatever, trying to get in front of a train like this for the risk reward, it's worth it. I go take a look at DWT here and see. How I'm doing. I thought it was pretty neat how fast that lost it inside of this retracement test here up in VWAP right before it started to tank. Same thing will happen on top of VWAP if I'm not careful, so I have to consider my options if and when that happens fast. So DWT is trading 1552, and I'm in at 1553 average. So risk reward's really good. If it hit that target today, I'd probably see 1630. If it gets way on me here, I'll probably lose 10 cents. So, you know, 10 cents versus 80-cent gain. So basically an 8-to-1 risk reward. Intraday trade, one that you can control your downside fast. You can see how it's working its retracement support resistance that I told you was what they needed. I'm just going to grab a smoke. I'll be right back. So basically in technical trading, if you can get the risk reward on your side 5 to 10 times, you can control your downside. You know, in this case, 10-cent loss versus an 80% gain on the day. Because it's so bullish, I probably won't get the 80 cents, but anyway, it's a start to a possible retracement in oil. You get on the right side of that, and that's much better, right? So you might get a $4 gain over a week versus a 10-cent, maybe 20-cent possible loss controlled. And if you do that 90% of the time as a systematic technical trader, then you know you're in good shape. And that's how I trade Bitcoin. But I do it a gazillion times a night because it moves so fast. But this is an example. How it works. It doesn't look good for me. I'm probably going to have to cut, you know, with a little puny loss. Right now it's trading 15.53 and my average is 15.53. Because getting in front of a train, it's kind of like chewing around the edges. You gotta just chew around the edges until you get grip in it, and then it turns around and it's on its way to its broader retracement, and that's where the real money is. The broader retracement on oil I haven't figured out yet, but I got a general idea where it is. And that puts me up about $4 on DWT versus a potential 10 or 15-cent loss. But the bulls are holding it here, so that's, and it's got 20 now. So that's advantage bulls. Just the fact that they've held it here as long as they have. There's a pivot there too it's sitting on, based on fib. 58.56. And they got volume coming in. This 50-day, 50 MA on the 1 minute will be the telltale sign here. These are, even though they're 1 minute candles, you can still assess them, and those are bullish 1 minute candles. Bullish bias. So DWT's 1550, 1551 right now. It's only cleared the first hurdle here, first two, I guess. The 20 MA and the pivot here. There's the 50 test. So it's holding onto its pivot. Now the 20 didn't push it under its pivot, but the 50 might. Then of course it's got to work up through VWAP, 100, 200. Then it's got the algorithmic model resistance area to work through. But I'll cut fairly fast here if it doesn't work out. DWT is trading 1553. No, I'm not going to hold DWT. I'll just chew around the edges until I get it. Monday's a whole other day. Sunday night I've got futures, oil futures too, so this probably won't work out, but what it does is it puts your mind into it. So you start to get all your levels set. And this is where I am with Bitcoin, right? Like I know all my levels. I know exactly where I am, and that's why I can trade through it. And so last night was my first, kind of test night in Bitcoin leading up to the weekend. I knew that the weekend was coming, so I wanted to get all my levels and I wanted to trade, small amounts to really get a feel for how it was trading in advance of this weekend. And my sizing will go way up this weekend because I'd like to double those accounts, but I couldn't do that unless I had the feel of the ebb and flow. So anyway, that's kind of systematic trading 101. But yeah, I'll cut this fairly quick here. If it fails, I'll probably give it to VWAP. That's it. Normally I'd give it, I'd give it the model, because what'll probably happen is, I'll probably cut at a small loss at VWAP, and it'll probably run into the wall, the quad wall on the model after VWAP. So I already know going into this, I'll probably lose. But, VWAP's gonna bring me around here in the model. It's, it should fail in here in the model. So, but, whatever. It'll be a huge tell at the end of the day if it ends up down here, that next squad up there. That's where the tell is. If it ends up down here, then I know Sunday night I'm in a short bias. Because if nothing else, oil should retrace or move its trend. At some point it has to retrace, and it's getting close to where it should be. If nothing else, just retracing 50% on its broader move. That's the process of chewing around the edges. Take a few small cuts. You get lucky enough to get on the right side of it on the first chew, then you kind of look like a hero. But the reality is, usually you'll be 3 or 4 chews in before you really get a good bite. But once you get the bite on, see, it's just I don't trade full time, so it's tough for me to get into these and get the moves through because I can't dedicate the time to do what I'm doing here. But I've dedicated the time, say, to Bitcoin because my return is so large. I can't deny that, right? I can't ignore it. Like I can't make in oil what I can make in Bitcoin. Mind you, there's these leveraged derivatives I'm learning about. See here, this is probably where I'm going to lose it. Now I could cut here at the loss of the 50, because really that's three tests, or hold on to VWAP. So it's really a 4-cent loss versus say a 12-cent loss. I'm in for size, so I might just cut and let it play out. Because they're holding this pivot. This pivot's really strong. So it costs you a couple bucks to get into the game. Start chewing around it. There's that pivot. They'll probably hit the buys now pretty hard. I'll wait and see how VWAP handles here. It looks like I'm just off on my pivot by 0.5 cent or whatever. They've got it marked here. But this is all on the fly. So DWT trading 1550, 1551. The 100 MA, that's a pretty serious test too, even though it's the 1 MA. I mean, 1 minute. And more often than not, the way oil will act is it'll get up to that 200. And that's where it'll fall back off, and that would make sense with the model. So I don't know, maybe I should just cut right here. Take a few cent loss. So what they're dealing with right there is that 50% retracement. So it's got it now. So it's worked its way through 1, 2, 3, 4 tests. So number 5 is here, and then VWAP 6, and then 100 MA 7. So it's slowly working its way through the tests, and that's just because it's so bullish. It'll probably take the algorithmic quad wall there to kill this and turn it back around. The algorithmic quad walls are so powerful because the machines absolutely shut down there, and the humans have to trade it through. And then the machines will continue the process to the next targets. But this is all machine driven through here, one test after another. So they just bring it to the next test. Humans say go, okay, bring it to the next test. That's what's happening, and it slowly grinds you down. So I'm close enough to VWAP now that I'll wait. Because I might get lucky here too, and even if this fails, if you take the retracement on just this test, so from here to here, right? So if it does fail it, what is that, 58.63, I may get a retracement back to 58.55 and then cut, before it bounces back up. That is possible, and save my 5 or 6 cents loss. So we'll see if it gets up through VWAP here. Now DWT was so depressed that the nice thing is I'm not getting a huge drop in it right now. I mean, it's dropping, but so here comes the up test. Wow, and it's blowing through. Crazy. Look at that. Down 8 cents on DWT right now. Now if I'm lucky, I'm going to get a retracement here. If it gets away on me, I'd have to be prepared for that quad wall test, and quite frankly, I'm just not prepared for that right now. I'd like to limit it to, maybe an 8 cent, 10 cent loss instead of 40 or 30 while I'm chewing around the edges until I get on the right side of it. Now, because it's bullish, it'll probably bounce before it gets to the 50% here, to that pivot. So 58, 59 is probably, oh, look at that. So the faster they take it before the pivot, the more bullish it is on the intraday. If nothing else, it should be a good reminder to the bulls that, you know, um, that day is coming soon when it will retrace at least 50% on its move, recent move. So that slowly weakens it too, right? So typically you have to go through this a few times. Before the bulls, you know, take it serious and go, okay, we're at risk of a broad range trend retracement. Now it's not that far now to the 200 MA on the one and the quad wall on the algorithm model, but I'm just not interested in taking it that far. So what it's up against there is a pivot on the model, historical pivot. If it busts through here, then, you know, it's the 100 MA on the one, and then the actual algorithm quad wall comes fairly soon after that, but I'm not gonna potentially wait for that. Looks like they're gonna get to the pivot here right now. Got it. Well, they're working it. They are definitely working it. Powerful train right now. Hmm. I said I wouldn't hold past the 200 and into that quad wall, so I should probably cut here soon. Dang it. No good, no glory, though, I guess. 10 to 1 risk reward, give or take. It's a little better if you get on the other side of the trend. Retracement. See that 20 coming up underneath price there? That's going to give it all kinds of support to get through the 200. NETE is on halt, volatility halt. Okay, so I cut. I took a 12-cent loss. Okay, I'm going to clean up some stuff here. I'll be back in a bit.